Now that you know how to use stun guns and tasers, we're going to go over the different laws and regulations on a state-by-state basis here in the United States, U.S. federal laws, as well as laws for countries outside of the U.S. We'll go ahead and start by talking about the laws for the different states here. As you can see here, all of the states in green, those are where stun guns and electronic control devices are completely legal with no restrictions whatsoever. This map might be slightly inaccurate, but I'll address those. The states in red, which are 5 states, it's completely illegal in those states. And the states in tan, they're legal but with restrictions. And the states in yellow mean that stun guns and tasers are legal in some parts of the state but illegal in others based on city and or county. Now I'm going to go ahead and let you know that I am not a lawyer or an attorney. All of these laws, they change on a continual basis. For example, Michigan just recently changed as of 2012, a few years ago. So you have to make sure that you're on top of all these laws and regulations. If you feel that you don't have accurate information or you have some doubts, then you should contact your local police department and ask them about it, or contact your attorney general. The information outlined in this lecture is as up to date as of March 26, 2016. So states in which stun guns and taser devices are legal with restrictions are Michigan, Mississippi, North Carolina, Iowa, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. Many of these, as you can see, require a conceal and carry license in order to lawfully possess a device. In North Carolina, you cannot have a stun gun or a taser concealed outside of the home. It has to be kept completely inside the home in order for it to be legal, which is ridiculous, but each state has its own rules. So one thing to note on that, however, is that this only applies to people who try to conceal their taser or stun gun. If you openly carry it, then it's fully legal in North Carolina, but otherwise you have to keep it inside the home. As already mentioned, Michigan, as of 2012, reverted their previous Supreme Court decision on making taser devices and stun guns illegal. Now they're legal, you just have to have a conceal and carry license. The same was done for Wisconsin as well. And here are all the cities and counties and states where electroshock weapons are completely illegal. Hawaii, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island. New York and Massachusetts and New Jersey, no surprise, because those states in particular are very anti-safety or personal safety. You can't really own anything, even a gun. But for the cities and counties, there are a number of counties where stun gun and taser use is illegal. For example, in the state of Illinois, Chicago is the only city where the use of these devices is illegal. Every other part of the state, you just have to have a conceal and carry license. District of Columbia, our nation's capital, completely illegal. And a few sections of Maryland and Delaware, and Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, as well as Denison and Crawford counties in Iowa. I just noticed that I had Washington, D.C. listed twice as D.C. and District of Columbia, so you can disregard that. But overall, these are all the areas in the U.S. where stun guns and tasers are illegal. And every state has different statutes on how they define what a stun gun is and how they define what a taser is. But either way, all these areas are completely illegal. But there is hope. With a current Supreme Court case, Caetano versus Massachusetts, as of March 21st, 2016, the Supreme Court reviewed and vacated the decision made in a 2011 case involving Jamie Caetano. Caetano was convicted by the state of Massachusetts for illegally possessing a stun gun, which she carried for protection against a former abusive boyfriend. Caetano had argued that the state's ban on allowing individuals to possess stun guns violated her Second Amendment right to carry a weapon for self-defense. The state of Massachusetts at the time argued that her defense was invalid, ruling that tasers were not the kind of weapons the founders meant for the Second Amendment to cover. With the review of that case, the issues were whether a stun gun is an arm within the meaning of the Second Amendment, and two, whether Massachusetts' blanket prohibition on the possession of stun guns infringes the right of the people to keep and bear arms in violation to the Second and 14th Amendments. Ultimately, the U.S. Supreme Court, in an unsigned opinion, vacated and remanded that ruling. This means that the case will be sent back to court in Massachusetts for its decision to be made. And if approved or made in favor of Caetano, this is huge because if it's approved, then that means that all electronic control devices and stun guns would be made legal in all 50 states of the country. That means places like Chicago, New York City, or New York, Hawaii, Massachusetts, New Jersey, etc. Everywhere it would be considered legal. So hopefully this goes through and her conviction gets removed. This would spell a great change for the people of the United States. But that's all that we have for this lecture. In the next lecture, we'll talk about U.S. federal law in regards to stun guns and electronic control devices.